The following is a special presentation of the First Horizon Green Sports Zone. This is the Pizza Inn Brad Woolsey Show. Welcome back to First Horizon's Green Sports Zone, and welcome back to this week's edition of the Pizza Inn Brad Woolsey Show, where we cover everything on the hardwood with the Greeneville Green Devils basketball team. We'll recap the past two games to close out the regular season with both volunteer and senior night with Dobyns-Bennett. We'll look at what's ahead next as the District 2 3A tournament starts tonight for the Green Devils. But first, as always, we need to get a brief message in from our sponsors first. So we'll be right back after this break here on First Horizon's Green Sports Zone. The Pizza Inn Brad Woolsey Show is brought to you by Gateway Ford Nissan, Tommy's Plumbing, Pizza Inn, and by First Horizon Bank.
Here's a twist on your typical banking options. What if instead of choosing between a big bank or a small bank, you had one bank that's the best of both? That's First Horizon. Big bank muscle with small bank hustle. Big bank convenience and small bank connection. When the best of big meets the best of small, you get it all. To help you on the road to your horizon. First Horizon Bank.
Welcome back to First Horizon's Green Sports Zone, and welcome back to this week's edition of the Pizza Inn Brad Woolsey Show, where we cover everything on the hardwood inside of Howell Henry Gymnasium with the Greeneville Green Devils basketball team. As always, I'm joined here with Green Devils head coach Brad Woolsey. Coach, how's it going?
I'm good, Tyler. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's the best time of the season now. It's the postseason. It's upon us. It starts in, I guess less than 8 hours away for you all. So going into it tonight, how excited are you?
Yeah, it's always fun getting to this part. Obviously, just things are riding on every game, and it's a great time. You got multiple games going at one site, and so it's a great time just for teams to come together. You get to see multiple games, and so it's always exciting.
Hey, had the girls action last night too. Had a very fruitful night for the Lady Devils with a big 48-point win over Volunteers. How much did you like seeing them advance to the championship?
Yeah. Of course, I always like to see them, advance, but of course, a little more interest with Julia playing as well. But it was just good. You always want to get there and play well your first game and just kind of get some of the kinks out. And I think our girls were able to do that early. We're a little bit slow early, it looked like, and then just really just turned it on. And so it was good to see.
They were able to beat Volunteer. Speaking of Volunteer, that's the first game that we have to mention in this pair of games, closing out your district schedule. Up there in Churchill, didn't fare the way you wanted it to, though, ended up resulting in a loss. So take me through that game last week against Volunteer.
Yeah, so just going into it, we knew that it was going to be tough just going to their place, and we knew that the Jones kid, he didn't really play the previous game against Granger. He was, I think he played maybe the last 5 minutes of the game, but outside of that, he didn't play. But just when I watched some of that online, I was like, man, he's going to be good to go on Friday night, and he was. Obviously, he went for 44 points, and when I go back and look at the film, the first thing that sticks out to me is we didn't have much physicality. We didn't box out really on Jones in the first few minutes, and we didn't get a body on him. And if you don't get a body on him, it's hard enough to box him out and to get a board when you make good contact. But if you're not going to make contact with him, he's going to get about any shot that comes off the rim. And we just didn't do a very good job there. Now we hung with them offensively. Offensively, it was probably our best game of the year in terms of scoring the ball, shooting percentage, points per possession, all of those things. It was one of the best that we've had all year. But defensively, we couldn't slow them down. It was 36-33, I think, at the end of the first half. I think Parker Quillen had a great first half. He had kind of been struggling from the three, and he hit several, I think 4 in the first half, and so that was great to see him knock those down. And it was 36-33, and then we came out in the third quarter, and really I think our energy might have been a little low, and just from there, we didn't score on offense, just struggled making plays on offense, and gave up some things on defense and gave up some and ones. That was probably one of the toughest things that we did, with the number of and ones we gave up. And then we started pressing, and we kind of just thought, well, eventually some of these guys are going to stop hitting shots, and then some guys we really didn't expect to hit shots, and we just never could really recover from it.
And what did you learn from your district schedule this year too? It's a lot different because I think this is the first year where you only had 4 teams, so that's obviously less games, only having 6. What did you learn in your district schedule this year as you went through it?
You know, when everything is pushed later, you know, so we're starting district play basically in the middle of January. You know, I think, like, there's part of it that's good, and then there's part of it that, you know, you kind of wish maybe you could start just a little bit earlier, just to kind of get those district juices flowing, and spread that out some. You know, the way that we have it set up, you know, you're in it and it's on you, and there's no time for I guess you might say development or change. You know, everything is happening so fast, because you go through the conference slate twice in just a matter of almost 3 weeks. And so, you know, as far as making adjustments from one time to the next, and adjustments is probably maybe a bad word, maybe just fixing your habits. You know, you don't have a lot of time for that, but I think if you look at, you know, you look at college basketball, it's kind of that way too, where you have Duke and North Carolina, they're playing each other twice in about a 3-week period. So it's just something you got to deal with. That's a little bit different, but it's good, and just thankful that we didn't have more snow issues on our end. That's for sure.
And then going into the final regular season matchup, senior night this past Tuesday night at Hal Henner Gymnasium, you pick up a very quality win, arguably your biggest win of the year over Dobbins Minute, 56-51. Talk about how great of a night that was, not only to get a win on senior night, but to get it over maybe one of the best opponents that you've played in your regular season schedule all year.
Yeah, I mean, Dobbins Bennett's a great program. They're coached really well, good kids, really tough, and so getting a win against them was huge, obviously for our kids, because really we kind of come into the game and we've been taking on water. I think we lost 3 straight conference games, I think, at that point, and so we just had not played terribly well, especially down the stretch, and we hung with them. And the crazy thing is that we had 23 turnovers against them, and how you come out on the right end when you've turned it over 23 times and they've turned it over 14, I don't know, but we did. And I think a big part of it was, man, our kids did such a good job defensively of contesting shots. They did a good job of staying in front of DB. I don't think I yelled "Don't gamble" once all night, and so we really did a good job of staying in front of people and just making shots tough, and then rebounding the basketball. And offensively, when we didn't turn the ball over, we really got some good looks. And so there were a lot of positives that came from that, just in terms of the basketball aspect of it, and some things that I saw that really encouraged me, and hopefully encourage our kids as well. But then kind of from the emotional part of it, when you think about the seniors, that it was possibly their last home game, in Hal Henner. It was great to see them go out on a win and something positive, just after it had been a tough year, and things had changed just so much over the last year. And it's kind of like the strings kind of get pulled out of the fabric, and then there's got to be people there that really hold the line and hold the fabric together. And I feel like Ryan and Willie both have done a great job of that. Ryan has really grown into a vocal leader, and he's even had more adversity this year. He was out for a month this year with a hurt shoulder, and then he got hurt again. But his vocal leadership this year has been really impressive. And Willie, Willie's going to be Willie. He'll probably be a little less vocal, but he's just going to do his job, and he's going to do it hard, and he's going to enjoy doing it. And I was really thankful that those guys got to go out on a good note on senior night.
A word that you said was gambling right there. You didn't have to yell, "Don't gamble" all night. Well, there's somebody that did gamble a lot this week. That was Jacoby Gillespie.
Yeah.
8 steals.
He's a theft, yeah.
New Tennessee record for steals in a single game, and I think he even said that in his post-game interview that he was gambling a lot to get a lot of those steals. But how great is that?
Yeah, no, I mean he's got the record now at UT for steals in a game, and I was able to watch some of that on TV. But it's great, and you got to know the situation, you got to know your opponent, you got to know yourself, and if you have a pretty good grasp of those three things, then and your team has to know you. You know, if you're out here gambling and your team's really not prepared for that, you're going to put them in a bad position if you don't get it. But you know, Jacoby's a guy that just over time, you know, he makes reads and he makes plays, and that's part of who he is. And so, yeah, that was it was good to see him have a great. We talk about his offense a lot, but it was good to see him have just such a great night defensively.
Absolutely, and they beat Oklahoma.
Yeah, it's Oklahoma.
Hey, always good to beat Oklahoma.
Yeah,
Am I right?
Yeah, that's right.
But we've got the postseason upon us now. We mentioned it at the beginning of the interview. We'll talk about it a little bit more in the second half, talk about what's going on up there at Granger later on this afternoon. So stick with us. We'll talk about tonight's District 2 3A semifinal game here on the Pizza Inn Brad Woolsey Show.
Here's a twist on your typical banking options. What if instead of choosing between a big bank or a small bank, you had one bank that's the best of both? That's First Horizon. Big bank muscle with small bank hustle. Big bank convenience and small bank connection. When the best of big meets the best of small, you get it all. To help you on the road to your horizon. First Horizon Bank.
Pizza Inn presents I Ate at Pizza Inn. I ate pizza at Pizza Inn. I ate a salad at Pizza Inn.
I ate pizza!
I ate it all. Hi, I'm Kyle, and I'm inviting you to come and enjoy Greeneville's favorite hometown pizza, pasta, salad, and dessert buffet for just $8 all day, Monday through Friday. And then you can say,
"We all ate at Pizza Inn."
For over 30 years, Tommy's Plumbing has proudly served the Tri-Cities with a personal touch, because we're not just plumbers, we're family. From simple faucet repairs to full plumbing repiping, we have the experience and expertise to get the job done right. We also specialize in water heater and tankless water heater installations, helping you find the perfect solution for your home. Our technicians stand behind their work and always leave your space clean and spotless. Looking for a plumber who's fast, professional, and reliable? Call Tommy's Plumbing and let our family take care of yours.
At many dealerships, you get what you'd expect: games, gimmicks, and shady sales tactics. At Gateway Nissan in Greeneville, expect the unexpected: low prices, convenient service, and a great buying experience.
Get our Gateway exclusive lifetime powertrain warranty.
No worries for life.
You deserve the unexpected. It's the #1 reason you gotta get to Gateway.
Shop online at GatewayNissanGreeneville.com.
Or take the super short drive down Highway 11E to Gateway Nissan in Greeneville.
Welcome back to First Horizon's Green Sports Zone, and welcome back to this week's edition of the Pizza Inn Brad Woolsey Show, where we cover everything on the court with the Greeneville Green Devils basketball team. As always, joined here with Green Devil head coach Brad Woolsey. If you got the opportunity tonight also, before you head up to Granger, go swing by Pizza Inn.
Yeah, go get you something to eat, go get you a little buffet action. They'll take care of you. So that'd be a great idea.
Monday through Friday, $8, all you can eat buffet, pizza, salad, pasta, anything you could imagine. Go get it down there at Pizza Inn in Greeneville. And after you go eat at Pizza Inn in Greeneville, you can head on up to Granger in Rutledge and watch the Green Devils square off against Cherokee tonight in the District 2 3A semifinals, playing Cherokee, I think, for the second time in 11 days now. So you're pretty familiar with them, obviously being in conference with them over the last few years, but having them so recently, how much do you think that helps going into tonight's game?
Preparation-wise, I mean, there's just not as much probably film to watch because you've already done it a bunch, and you kind of have a grasp of what they do, and they have a grasp of what we do. So that's probably the lone advantage. Is there might be maybe a little less time involved in preparation. You're still trying to find film, you're still watching film, but you know, the time involved in that, you kind of already have a good feel for what they like to do.
And of course, we mentioned how excited you are for tournament time, but being tournament time, this is probably the most wide open that it's been in recent memory. I think Greenville's controlled it for the last, I guess this is the 5th year of realignment now since they've made this new conference. And this is the most wide open it's been, but the Green Devils still have the opportunity to control their own destiny and get back up there and snatch the crown from whoever thinks they could take it. So what's it going to take to win the district tournament this year?
Yeah, I think it just takes playing good basketball, and that doesn't change from November 1st to March 1st. You know, it's always going to be the same. You know, you're going to have to take good shots. You're going to have to take care of the ball. You're going to have to stay in front of people defensively. You're going to have to rebound the basketball, and you're going to have to help, you know, and get to the ball on defense. And so, like, doing those things, and also, like, probably the one thing that changes this time of year is just, you know, it's the end of the year and it's kind of the end of the grind. Emotionally, you just really have to stay locked in and together. And so, you know, at this time of year, one thing that can have a little bit greater effect are just positive and negative emotions. And so, you know, we've got to be a team that really controls those, that really enhances the good emotions and limits the bad emotions, and do it all for my teammate. You know, that I do it for my team, I do it for my community, I do it for my school. And so, you know, from an emotional perspective, that's probably one thing that's a bigger difference, more so than anything else.
And I know you probably don't like that a conference is only 4 teams.
Right.
But it makes everything a lot easier when it comes tournament time. With just a 4-team bracket, you only have 2 days of competition on Friday and Tuesday, and this will probably be the easiest bracket we have to go through in this week's Coaches Show. So Greenville and Cherokee, the 1 versus 4, Friday at 6 o'clock, followed by the 2 versus 3. Volunteer is the 2 versus Volunteer the 3 at 7:30, and then the winners of both of those games will meet in Tuesday night's championship at 7:30. The losers will meet in Tuesday night's consolation at 6. Every team moves on to the region tournament, so pretty simple bracket to go through. Not any this team will play this team, then you go to the championships, anything like that. So pretty easy to go through in that one. And the one question that I've been asking every coach this week when we get down to this point in the interview is, on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you for the postseason?
I mean, it's a 10. I mean, you're excited. The season's long and it's hard, but we're excited. I think we'll be ready to go. We've had a good practice or 2 just this week. You know, had a good win, and so I think that you know, confidence-wise, we should be in a good place, and just got to be together. We gotta make the right plays at the right time, and you know, we do that. Regardless, it's going to be fun.
On a scale of 1 to 10, what are your nerves like?
Like right now, I mean, and I think any coach that's in high school in Tennessee, you know, different rounds produce different nerves. Probably not. It probably is normal for me right now in terms of my nerves. Really just kind of focused on the process, focused on, you know, the next thing that I have to do to try and help our team win. And you know, when you got those nerves, and I've had like horrific nerves in the past. You know, I've got puking stories from my very first time at the state tournament, and got off the bus and puked behind a tree just in front of all my kids. And a couple of years, when I think it was Kobe and his first time, like I get bad headaches. I feel sick. I mean, and so I don't know if it's nerves. It's just you're working so much. You're just watching so much film. It just doesn't seem like it stops. But like we were at the embassy in 2021, I guess, and I got off the bus from a shoot around. I was like, I'm sick, and man, I'm get to the elevator. I'm not gonna make it. So I had to find one of those the maids rolly things.
Yes, that has the trash can in it.
And so I found one of those in the lobby and just went off in the corner and had puked a little bit, and then just went on back upstairs and didn't make a mess or anything, thankfully. But I was grateful the maid cart was there that day.
I think what a lot of people say is if you don't have nerves, then you really don't care.
Right.
So
yeah.
when you have nerves, it's good.
That's the truth, you know, and it does, and they amp up from time to time, you know. But you gotta be able to control them. And again, the way you control that stuff is just what's my next job I got to do, and if you do that, then you're usually gonna be pretty good, and those nerves can be harnessed for good as opposed for ill.
Hey, the good news is with only a 4-team region, you're automatically, or a 4-team district, you're automatically into regions. So that's a good thing about it, at least.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably what I'm referencing is it's not an elimination game. You know, elimination games are always, for everybody, they're always going to be a little bit more nervy, I guess you'd say.
So the good thing about a 4-team conference, no elimination games, but it will determine how your seeding goes into the region tournament, which will turn into 2 elimination games in your quarterfinals and semifinals. But of course, we can't worry about that too much.
No,
we've got the district tournament ahead of us.
Exactly right. We got what's in front of us, and that's all we're worried about. We're going to just try to win the moment. Is kind of our theme right now, is just win the moment. You know, you don't look behind and you don't look ahead. All you're given is the moment, and so you just try to go win the moment.
And the moment will be tonight, 6 o'clock at Granger High School against Cherokee in the District 2 3A semifinals. Of course, we'll get this uploaded before then because no point in uploading it after we do the preview. But pretty much all I've got, unless you've got anything.
No, that's good.
All right. Well, best of luck tonight up there in Granger.
Tyler.
Go up there and ask them for some popcorn and mustard. They'll hook you up with the.
They offered it last night. I had
Did
some
they?
popcorn. It was good popcorn. It was really good.
It is good.
I didn't need mustard though. So.
It's actually Cherokee special. I forget about that.
Oh yeah. Okay.
It was given to me at Granger too, but it must just be a District 2 3A special then.
Yeah.
So Volunteer needs to catch on next. But that's all we got this week. Thank you all for watching this week's edition of the Pizza and Brad Woolsey Show. We look forward to seeing you next time here on First Horizons Green Sports Zone.